There are a lot of neighbors outside right now. Good afternoon guys, my name is Kat and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about choosing your next project. So I've recently been personally dealing with this as I've been having a hard time choosing what I want to work on next. I'm currently in revisions on Eldar Dominion. Haven is about to be published, / is published depending on when this video comes out, and I need some major revisions in Sanctum. But I also want to write the sequel to Haven, and I also want to write a new series. It is a steampunk adult series named The Queen of Thieves. So, choosing between Savages and the Queen of Thieves has been really tough. So I figured, what a great time to talk about choosing your next project, since, you know, I'm trying to do that right now. So choosing your next project can be really hard, especially if you're not working with a deadline, which is why setting personal deadlines is definitely a good idea. Say in the month of May, you want to write 50 pages. So what do? You gotta set yourself a deadline and you gotta stick to it. You're the only one who can control what you do. So you have to control yourself. You have to hold yourself accountable. So before you set your deadline, you gotta kind of look at your options and what is inspiring you right now. Are you more inspired to write that YA fantasy? Are you more inspired to write that adult steampunk? Are you more inspired to write a YA contemporary? I don't know. What are you inspired to write? Next, look at what is more ready. Do you have an outline? Do you have your characters developed? Do you have your world building researched? What are you most prepared to start writing at this moment? You also gotta think, do you have a certain schedule you're trying to stick to? Are you trying to get a certain book published by a certain time? If so, you may want to choose what you need to get published first. So for example, if you need to get a sequel out, you should probably write that sequel first, unless you don't really have a deadline, or you know, the first book isn't even published yet, so then you kind of have an open window there. So really just look at what works better for your schedule. So really it all just boils down to your personal circumstance and what you're most inspired to write. Take this with a grain of salt, but if you're inspired to write something more than something else and that book is more ready than whatever else you think you need to write, then write whatever you're inspired to write. Writing is not supposed to be a job, it's supposed to be fun. Depending on if you're doing it for a job, then you might want to treat it like a job. But at the same time, if you're trying to decide between two things but you're not getting anywhere because you can't decide on what to do next, maybe you should just do what you're more inspired to write, so at least then you're writing something, and at least by the time you're done writing that book, then you're done. Then you can write that other book. So I think it's definitely boils down to your own circumstances, so don't be too hard on yourself if you don't really know what to do right now, because it's all up to you. It's your life, it's your career. If you want to write something, write it. Who am I to tell you what to write? So that being said, if you are wondering what I did decide to write next, I am writing the Queen of Thieves next because I'm currently stuck on my Savages timeline and I will not start writing a book until that outline is done. So I actually finished the Queen of Thieves timeline and I started writing it just on a whim, just inspiration hit me, but I've been thinking about that book for like months now, and I knew, like, this is the time. I gotta start writing it. Like, if I don't start writing something soon, I'm just gonna go fucking crazy. I hope this video kind of slightly helped you decide what you want your next project to be. If it didn't, I'm really sorry, but of course, if it did, or if you're still confused, if you want to talk to me about it, leave me a comment below and let's get to discussing. On the other hand, if you did like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here. You can still read chapters 1, 2, and 3 of Haven for free on my website. All that jazz is in the description bar below. So again, thank you guys for watching. My name is Kat, and I'll see you next week.